After the tragic death of her parents, killed by bandits, young Surya Freed is sent to the orphanage where she learns about the prestigious world of alchemy. Determined to follow her late parents' footsteps and become an independent business owner, she enrolls at the academy to train and certify to become an official alchemist. 5 years have passed. Rhea graduates from the institution and nearly achieves her dream before realizing she lacks the funds to do so. Left with little choice, she's able to make do with a low storefront in town situated far away from the bustling capital. Despite the threat of treacherous terrain and dangerous monsters in a remote countryside, Shreya begins her new exciting life as an alchemist. This anime has about 12 episodes, premiered October 3rd, 2022 to December 19th, 2022. This is based off a light novel, is adventure, fantasy slice to life. Each episode is 20 minutes per episode, rated PG-13. Let's get started into the review. What I really like about the management of a novice alchemist is that we are first introduced to Cereza, who is orphaned at a very young age due to the tragic death of her parents. But going for that, I was looking on my anime list, and this is given 6.9, 6.59 rating. It could be a 7 because why I say that is because it deserves more credit than it's given. I thought it was a good story. Now, everyone's opinion is to their own, but I think when people think about, the title within itself, they think of like all the Alchemist games that's come before it, but you gotta separate the game from the anime. I think from this point, if they're thinking about from the video game standpoint, you think about separating the two. This is based off of a light novel, not the video game. The video game is when she's much older versus this one where she's just starting out. So that's what people needed to take that differentiation from. Now, with that being said, you're moving past that. I think, this has a lot of potential being a nice, cute little slice of life anime with a little bit of darkness to it, but not a lot. You have this young girl whose life was completely ripped away from her. And now she feels like she has to start all over again, and she wants to be an orphanage to make her late parents proud. That's the whole premise of this story. And I feel like Freya, she feels like she's bitten off more than she could chew, but she doesn't want to fail her late parents. So what else does she need to do? She increases her study. She purchases a storefront in the remote forest. Not yet. Her store doesn't look that good at first, but as she's building connections and relationships, she is growing in her own and learning to be a perfect business person while also being, not to say a master, but she's pretty darn good at being an alchemist. Like the skills she's shown at a very young age is phenomenal. Mind you, yes, she is young to be an alchemist, but she's shown her worth of how a capable alchemist she can be in this remote town that no one else wanted to go to. And by the interactions and relationship that she's built with the villagers, she's able to make a name for herself and prove to others that she is not to be taken advantage of. And what I mean by that is they look down on her because she's small and she's young. Well, that's not the case here. She knows a lot more than some of the other alchemists that she encounters, or, on the same par as them. But what is really, truly fascinating about this, and my final thoughts about this, that she shows her worth, her knowledge, and her expertise as an alchemist as she studied in the academy. And even though she is placed somewhere far away from the bustling capital, truth be told, she didn't need to be the capital to begin with. This is where her faith led her, and for her to make a big impact on the village she lived in. Now, I give this, honestly, a 7.9 out of 10. I wish they could spend more, but I get that. When you basically have a light novel, you can only go with so much of the source material before you start letting into hurdles and running out of ideas. But what I really like about this, you see the growth of Soraya and the people she's encountered, and she's changed their life for the better. And I think if you watch this anime, you will see that relationship being built for her and the town people that she's come to grow, and they help out one another. They don't, treat each other like they're strangers or profit. They truly help each other out where it's needed the most. I think that's important about this anime is the theme wise, even though you experience grief of your loved ones, know that even though she does move on her own, start out on her own, it takes a village to raise a child. Even though she's not a child in some sense where she has to be on her own, the villagers who she's meet and encounters help her strive to achieve, and she's built up that clientele where she's more respected in that village, and they are eternally grateful that she's taken the time to be in their village and be their alchemist, and no one else can have her because they respect her and treat her just one like everybody else in the village, like a family member of their own. Now, she does get into some interesting antics, but that's just another case for another story. But definitely check out this anime and let me know what you think. But until then, see you real soon.